What are the top 10 neighborhoods in Temecula? How do they stack up in terms of prices, age, size, all that important stuff? I'm going to dig into it starting right now. Hi everyone, Chris here. I'm one of the guys on the team. Jessica will be back next week. She's working hard on a forecast video. It might end up being 2 videos as this year wraps up and we roll into the next one, so stay tuned for that. On that note, we want to thank all you subscribers and commenters that keep us motivated to keep cranking out this content each week, each Wednesday. It's a lot of work, but we enjoy doing it and we like to hear from you guys. Getting back to this video, even if prices change a lot from right now to whenever you might be seeing this video, I think this is going to help get familiar with the neighborhoods and how they stack up. So I'm going to emphasize the ranking part of this video instead of the prices and the forecast. So here's the list. The data I'm using here is from the past 6 months, and 5 or 6 months is from the peak to the start of the declines, more significant declines the past 2 or 3 months. Tried to remove the outliers in terms of the price and the features, and I'll just say that I'm not forecasting a crash, and I'm not baking in a decline, a significant decline into my ranges and my targets you'll see on these slides. I'm hoping and expecting prices to stabilize and potentially start going back up again next year, especially if the Fed stops the 50 and 75 basis point increases, but none of us have a crystal ball. All right, here's our first neighborhood, Paloma Del Sol. Paloma Del Sol is north of Temecula Parkway, so check out the video here in a few slides that shows the maps and boundaries for Paloma and Paseo del Sol. They're very similar, but let's get into some of the differences now. Paloma del Sol, the age of early to mid 1990s. I'm considering these typically smaller homes for our area. There's as small as 1,100 to 2,700 plus square feet. So for my targets and these averages, let's call it 1,700 to 2,000 square foot plus, if that's what you're looking for. I've got a minimum recently of 500,000 to a max of 820,000. Medians and averages are very close in this particular community because there's so many data points. We've got 638 and 640 is the median. So as of right now, if you're looking for a 2,000 to 2,500 square foot home, we could be looking in Paloma del Sol. If you have a target budget, I would say of 615 to 640, could find something really good and get you into that one fairly easily. Paseo del Sol, uh, late 1990s to early 2000s. Let's call these medium-sized homes, 1,200 to 3,000 square foot plus homes. Let's call the average 2,100 to 2,500. I've got 569 with a max outlier of over a million in the Paseo Reserve. Median of 680, average of 705. So if you're looking to spend around 650,000, maybe 670 or so, could probably find something in Paseo del Sol that would meet your needs. Now, here's the first neighborhood tour video that I want to share with you. This one was actually made by Jessica and Scott on the team. Like I said, he draws the boundaries nicely on that video, and we have both of those communities on one video. Moving on to Vintage Hills, we've got early 1990s for this neighborhood. It's not the newest or the hottest neighborhood in town, but we think it's nice. It's a good value, and we personally like it, me and Jessica. These are smaller to medium-sized homes, 1,700 to 2,800. I'm calling your medium-sized home. Let's call the average 250, 2,500 square foot, with a minimum of 639 to 780. We don't have a neighborhood tour on this one. Here's a listing from a little while ago, but it shows a nice example of a home in Vintage Hills. This one's a single story and has some community info on that one if you want to check that out. Now, some of these neighborhoods in my 6-month data range, I had limited data points. And like I said, I would take out outliers for the particularly high or low data points in a neighborhood. So hopefully this is helpful just to get a feel for the neighborhood and the city of Temecula as these neighborhoods stack up against each other. Number 7, Chardonnay Hills. This one is on Rancho, California, heading to wine country. It's almost in wine country. That's the name. Chardonnay Hills, that's what that's referring to. This one feels a little dated to me and to some people. It's a nice neighborhood. You will find some that are remodeled in there. Other neighborhoods that are a little bit higher priced, you'll see homes are more upgraded when they go on the market. Like in Redhawk, a lot of those, at least half of them, it seems like, when you get in there, will have the upgrades that people are wanting. Chardonnay Hills, I just wrote this note that it feels like the listings that are in there tend to be more original. So these are late 1990s to early 2000s. Let's call a medium-sized home of 1,700 to 3,000 square foot. Let's call the average 2,500 on this one. Minimum of 574 with a million outlier in there. Median of 720 to 748. Again, that's over the past 6 months. But given that comment I just made about how some are less upgraded, let's put the target at 650 for this one, up to 700,000. So that'll be well below your median average. So maybe there's an opportunity in Chardonnay Hills to get a good deal. Here's another video that we have a neighborhood tour on. We'll put the link in the description for any of these neighborhood tour videos that we have, and it's most of them. Now these averages and targets, these are for what I'm considering an average type of home in each community, whether it be 2,000 to 2,500 or 2,500 to 3,000 plus type of neighborhood that's bigger. That's what I'm using in my forecast / target that I'm using. Number 6, Temeku Hills. This one has a similar location on Rancho California, but it's a little closer to the freeway as you're heading east towards wine country. This one has the same type of feel as Chardonnay Hills to me in terms of potential value. This one happens to have the golf course. So similar age, late 1990s to early 2000s. Medium-sized home, 1,600 to 3,000. Let's call the average of this one 2,500 or so. 580, there's a max of 900,000 the past 6 months in there, with your median 665, 680. So similar target. If you're a 650,000 buyer, there's no reason we shouldn't be looking into Temeku Hills. This is another community that we have a neighborhood tour about. We talk about the golf course. I was invited to pickleball there. I don't know if the public can go to those pickleball courts, but if I attend that sometime, I'll let you guys know. With any of these homes in any of these neighborhoods, the age, conditioning, remodeling, upgrades, if it has a pool or any other major features like that, that'll adjust a property several thousand or tens of thousands, of course. Number 5, Wolf Creek. Now we're starting to move into the higher end, more desirable parts of town. We're south of Temecula Parkway off Pechanga Parkway. We're closer to the freeway here. The age is mid to late 2000s, so this is newer. Let's call them medium-sized home, but the lots are smaller. That's one of the first things we say about Wolf Creek. So 1,650 to 3,500 plus square foot. Let's call it the similar 2,000 to 2,500 average. I saw a minimum recently of 560. That was kind of a unique situation to me, just based on the surface of looking at it. Kind of a surprisingly low data point in Wolf Creek. Max of 950, median of 733 to 729 is the average. I'd advise 650 plus. I'm saying 685 to 725 for the nicer homes in Wolf Creek as of right now, if that's the type of buyer, type of home you're looking for. This is another community that will have a nice neighborhood tour. I say nice because Chris makes an appearance in that one, a rare appearance with Jessica in that community tour video. One main takeaway is that there's a lot of nice neighborhoods in Temecula. They're mostly HOA neighborhoods with a few exceptions like the Vale Ranch next to Redhawk, but for the majority of Temecula, they're in HOA neighborhoods, and all of these neighborhoods on this list are HOA communities. Number 4, Harveston. Harveston's in the northern part of Temecula, getting close to the mall. This one has the Harveston Lake. It's a very charming community. It's one of the most popular in town. So the age of Harveston, most are in the mid 2000s. These are small to medium sized homes on small lots, kind of like Wolf Creek, where we have 1,700 to 3,000 on the outlying areas. As you get farther from the lake, the homes are larger. Let's call the average 2,200 square foot in Harveston. Again, a little bit small to medium. Minimum of 620. Got a max this past 6 months of 900,000, with the median of 715, average of 728. So if you're looking to buy in Harveston based on the current conditions, I would say 700 to 725 on your target, and that's because I've been watching this one for several months now. The listings have been sitting longer, even longer than our increasing days on market with our general stats. I feel like the prices are staying high, and they're stubbornly high. I think the agents and the sellers perhaps are getting a little bit stubborn in Harveston. If it's priced right, people would snatch those up. But if you're looking to go tens and tens of thousands under list price, I don't think that would be an efficient use of time in a community like Harveston. Here's the thumbnail for our Harveston community tour. One other thing on our community tour videos, there's a Real Scout property search link. So if you look in the description, I'll put it in this one also, but any of these community tour videos that we have a Real Scout search set up for, you can just click on that and it'll show you what's currently available, the prices as of that minute. That's real time for the Real Scout links. Number 3, Redhawk. Redhawk is east of Wolf Creek near Temecula Parkway, Pechanga Parkway. It's also relatively close to the freeway, but it's a huge community with several sub-communities. There's a wide range from 1,400 square foot to 3,600. There's 4,000 plus homes in that one. I'm going to just say 2,500 on this target, on this quasi forecast target here on these numbers. So let's call it most from the late 1990s to early 2000. There's a community that's newer in Redhawk, but the vast majority are these late 1990s to early 2000s medium larger homes. Let's say 1,500 to 4,000 plus, and like I said, the average 2,500. I'm showing a minimum in Redhawk of 560,000 fairly recently, all the way up to 1.25 million in there. Let's say the median 750 to 769 is the average. So targeting 750,000 for the typical, like I said, oftentimes upgraded home in better condition. In Red Hawk, it is one of the more desirable communities in town in that Great Oak High School district. Now there is one community that's not in our presentation today. That's Vale Ranch, which is right next to Red Hawk. I noticed that many listings, the listing agents, they might be from out of the area or they're maybe even being disingenuous. They'll say a Redhawk home, but it's actually in Vale Ranch. That's the no HOA part of Redhawk, near Redhawk, but I am not including Vale Ranch in my data here. Vale Ranch is more like your Chardonnay Hills, Temeku Hills in terms of pricing and, potentially some bargains in there if you're okay with some work. But if you do come across a few listings that don't have an HOA in Red Hawk, it's probably Vale, and that could be a potential for a little bit more of a bargain as opposed to some of the nicer areas within Red Hawk, proper Red Hawk. Here's the thumbnail for our Red Hawk community tour video. Some of the Real Scout searches that I mentioned, it's not exactly precise. So again, Vale Ranch, it'll be in there. And this particular link, if memory serves, it actually grabs Wolf Creek and even goes across Temecula Parkway. It's just a big, gigantic search because Red Hawk is so big if you happen to be clicking around in that particular Real Scout search. All right, we're coming down to the end of it here. We got number 2, Crowne Hill. This one is heading east, way down Temecula Parkway. Pub is up there. You almost feel like you're getting towards wine country. Prices in here are holding steady. We've got age of 1990s to early 2000s. These are medium, larger homes. 2,200 to 3,500 is typical. Let's call the average in here of 3,000. Minimum of 700,000 within our data set with a max 1.1 million. I've got the median at 802 and an average of 862 brought up by some of those higher data points around 900,000 and even a million. So let's call the target in Crowne Hill, if you're a buyer, 790,000 to a little over 800,000. You could get a home there in Crowne Hill. Now we don't have a community tour of Crowne Hill. It's on the to-do list. This is one of the few that we don't have on our channel as of today. And we see some buyers out there trying to swing the pendulum way to the other end of the extreme to the buyer's market. We see buyers talking about 100,000 under list price, tens and 50,000 under list price. Sometimes I've seen 27,000 in closing costs, and we've seen 30,000 in closing costs being requested on our listings from buyers. But as of right now, unless something changes drastically, we don't see that really happening right now and into the beginning of next year. We just feel like the market will stabilize. Number 1 on the list, we've got Morgan Hill. These are 2004 and newer, most or even newer than that, 2010 plus. These are larger homes, some 2,000 to over 4,000. Let's call it an average of 3,000 plus. Do have a minimum on a smaller one of 685 in there, and the maxes go way high. There's a couple along the ridge on Frog's Leap by the clubhouse they're giant lots with huge views. Those are just really awesome homes. So that'll bring your average way above the median there. You'll see 880 is my median, and I've got 905 as the average. And I wrote a little note in there that says 25% of my sample, those are over a million. So this is a higher end community for Temecula, if not the highest. So if you're looking to buy in there, let's have a budget of $850,000 to say $895 as of right now to get your typical home in Morgan Hill. And of course, we have a community tour video on that one. It's one of our better videos. We just really like Morgan Hill. Now, I threw in a bonus here. We have Roripaugh Ranch. I call it 1* because it's not really in Temecula to me, honestly. And I'm not saying that as a knock. I prefer Murrieta to Temecula. I think Murrieta is a good value. It's not as crowded. But Roripaugh Ranch is way down Murrieta Hot Springs. Murrieta, it's in the name, Murrieta. But I feel like it's in Murrieta, but this one happens to be within the Temecula city limit, and it's a Temecula school district. So it really is a Temecula community. Roripaugh Ranch is newer. There's 2013 and newer. I guess it's almost 10 years old now, but it still feels new. It's really nice in there. These are larger homes, but the lots are small, not large lots. 2,300 to 4,000 square foot on the home. Let's call it an average of 3,000 plus. At a minimum of 747, with a million plus on the max, and the median and average are pretty close on this, 833 and 836. So let's keep the target for Roripaugh of 825 to 875. I don't feel like this is one where you could go below and find a deal unless you happen to luck upon a desperate seller or some situation like that. But my median and average data makes sense to me here. It feels like Roripaugh has been in 800s and 900,000 for most of the past 2 years, and you do see over a million in there sometimes. So we do have a community tour video of Roripaugh Ranch. Now, again, my Real Scout search links, this one wraps all the way down to Sommers Bend. And I don't cover Sommers Bend, new construction in Temecula in this video because there's not a lot of resale. This is more of a resale focused video instead of new construction. If you've been watching our channel, you'll know that Jessica is a new construction specialist. So we've got tons of videos on Sommers Bend if you want to check those out too. Hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.